All right, another movie I got from Redbox in addition to Upgrade was Bad Samaritan. This has got the Doctor Who himself, Barty Crouch Jr. Now, this is a movie, really quick, because I'm going to talk spoilers here in a minute, but before I do, a little spoiler-free thing. This is an interesting movie because here's something I want to say. This is a mixed bag film. Now, when it comes to mixed bag films like this, it really comes down to how much of the film I enjoyed versus what I didn't. I think a lot of people, they kind of expect perfection from beginning to end. So if things don't, especially the ending, if things don't go the way they want them to, or if anything becomes dumb at any moment, they disregard everything else that they enjoyed about the movie and just label the film as trash. That's not how I work. There are movies that the ending, in fact, there's movies a lot of the times where the movie is amazing until the last minute and then something so dumb happens that it ruins the movie for me. That has happened. But I will acknowledge I love the whole rest of the film until that moment. I'll say it every single time. It's happened a couple times. It's happened off the top of my head, like 13 Sins and 47 Meters Deep. And there's been plenty of films out there where I watched every second and then the last minute. This isn't one of those films. This is one of those films where there's a lot of this movie where I really liked things that were happening, and I will label them. And then there's other things that were like, okay, that was kind of dumb. Okay, that was stupid. The ending gets a little ridiculous, stuff like that. And a lot of people can't handle that stuff. They don't like a lot of mixture of bad in with their entertainment. So I will say that about this movie. If you're looking for a flawless movie or something, this is not your film. There's going to be things that you have to just look past, and I know some people just don't like doing that. But overall, it's hard to give an overall feel of the movie because I liked what I liked and I disliked what I disliked. You know, it's just kind of that feel to it. Overall, I guess I enjoyed it more than I didn't. So I will say, on average, it got a, like better than on the side of good. So there you go. If you want to know anything about this film, kind of plays out like The Collector, sort of. There's this guy, and he is a thief, and he has this scam that he runs with his friend, which this is an actual real thing, by the way, that people do. So be safe, people. They get into people's cars as valets, and they check their home address. And they usually what happens is they get in, they check the home address, and then they write it down, and they kind of take note of like, oh, this is a Lamborghini, or this is whatever, Range Rover. This person probably has money, whatever. They may also take their freaking garage door opener and clone that, and all sorts of things, or take their key and clone that. There's all sorts of things the valet can do with your car. But these guys go and rob the house because they know no one's probably home, because they see all the families there right then and there, and if they're eating at this restaurant, they're probably very close. So when they look on the thing, it's like 1 mile away. It takes like an hour to eat dinner. We can go to the house, break in, get the stuff, come back. They'll never even know I was there. We'll take really quick shit, and then pop the car back in faster than they could possibly know, which is an interesting scam. It's a stupid scam. Of course, all thievery is usually stupid and is going to lead to your arrest. But it's an interesting, it's one you don't really see all that much in film. So I like that. But so anyways, they take it. This guy goes to this guy's house, and when he gets in there, he finds that this guy is holding a girl hostage in the house. He wants to help her out, but he gets too scared and runs away. And then after he does, he regrets it heavily and wants to expose this guy, save her. He can't deal with what he did, and then he spends the rest of the film dealing with the consequences of that. And of course, lots of problems happen from there. So cool premise, really cool premise. I like the premise a lot. As I said, very Collector, like a guy breaks into the house and finds somebody there who's killing people. It's got a similar premise, and I like that premise. So let's talk about the movie. Spoilers from here on out, guys. Spoilers. So this guy's girlfriend comes over in the beginning. She's like, "Can I talk to you about Jesus?" And I was like, "Oh God, here we go." And then she ends up being like, "All right, well, would you rather I jump your bones?" I was like, "Ooh, this is a hot little role play here. I like that. I'm not usually into role play type of stuff, but I could definitely get down with some of that." She flashes him her tit, which he takes a picture of, and you know that's going to play into it later. In fact, I knew exactly when he took it, exactly what was going to happen. I was just like, uh-oh, that's going to get exposed in the wrong moment by the bad guy. So we go into the trunk of his car and we find out that he is a thief. He has a bunch of jewelry, a bunch of stuff in there, and he's got his dumb ass friend who he does this with. The friend tries to go and rob this house really quick, and there's this big dog in there. He runs out of the house, gets himself back, and they decide to still try to rob another house that night, even though they just had one that was almost botched. Real smart guys we're dealing with here. And so he goes in there, he finds the chick. When he takes that picture and the chick's right there, man, that's startling for sure. It didn't really get me because I don't startle very easy, but I can imagine that's a really good startling technique on that one. So I'll give him that. Then he goes and he also finds this guy's kill room, which he has set up in his garage for anyone to find, with lye and all sorts of tools to hack a body up. Tries to go back to help her, can, as I said, and this guy has his whole house rigged through his cell phone. Just like, you know, you can go into his phone, he can turn on the lights, he can look through cameras, he can do that. I know people who have houses like that. It's pretty wild stuff. And so what does this kid do? Instead of what typically in movies they do, they're like, well, I can't call the cops because whatever. Well, at first he decides, all right, I'll call the cops and I'll keep it anonymous. Which he does, and they go to his house, but he's got some chick there that he's just got a booty call, and this guy's pimping, I guess. She must be a big Doctor Who fan. And so they go in, and this guy's changed the room. It's completely gone now. He's a fast mover, man. He gets a girl over there for sex, and he changes the whole room, everything, all super, super fast. This guy works quick. As soon as he sees that there's anything wrong, he's like, oh shit, moves everything around. He has a contingency plan for this very thing, I guess. And so he's got that chick, and he moves her out to his cabin in the woods. And he's trying to break her, because at the end of this movie we find out that he tried to break his dad's horse, and the horse ended up dying, and then when the teacher was going to tell, he ended up killing her, like no way, which ended up sparking this whole thing between him and his family. He doesn't talk to him anymore, whatever. But he's trying to break this chick. He wants subservience, he wants domination, he wants to be in charge. And when she tries to show him her body sexually, like a naked body, he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I want nothing to do. You are an animal to me. Like, you are a dog to me. I'm not looking at you for sex. I'm not here to, defile you in that way. Like, I thought that was interesting. That was such a different spin on things. It's like, ew, what the fuck are you doing? And this is a very attractive lady. So it's like, he was with a woman earlier that was very beautiful as well, and he was fucking her. So he is into women, and she's attractive. So it's just like, no, to him, this chick is beneath him. She's not even a human anymore, the way he has her in that room, which is just messed up. And why doesn't he want to kill her? I don't know. I guess this is, he's almost got her broken, and she's just about to obey, and he doesn't want to give up on it, so he just switches her around, moves her to his other house. And how the cops are not suspicious about that, they've gotten 2 calls now, one for a robbery and one for a murder at the same address, all in like one 24-hour period. I don't know. I feel like the cops would be way more into this than they are. And that's just kind of how this whole movie plays out. Like, the cops are like, this is a typical cops in movie scenario. They're just like not listening. They're not paying attention, whatever. But I love that he goes to the cops again, tries again, and he exposes himself. He's like, what were you doing there? He's like, I was robbing the place. Like, I don't give a shit what you do to me. Just go get this girl. I can't live with it on my conscience anymore. And he just, I love that he goes to give himself up just to get this girl out. That's how much this is getting into his mind. This kid reminds me of the guy from Entourage. I can't remember. Drive Me Crazy too, right? Isn't that with Melissa Joan Hart and him? Is that the name of that movie? What's that kid's name? I don't know. He just reminded me of that kid for some reason. I think he looks a lot like him. Anyway. So he goes to confront the cop that he goes and talks to the second time, goes to confront the killer, and he makes him think that he's just a jealous boyfriend because he fucks all these hot women and he has all this hot house, and this guy's just like, okay, I think I know what's going on here. Like, you fucked his girlfriend and he's pissed, so he's trying to make you look like a murderer, get you in trouble. All right, forget it. And then as I said, there's some really silly parts. And one of the things is that the killer's had enough, and he's going to go take this guy. And he's going to take him. He has like a needle and everything, and he's down, walked by his car, and he actually walks forward to go grab him and pull him away. How the fuck he was going to pull this off, I can't even begin to imagine. In front of the FBI building, he was going to walk up and puncture him in the neck, grab his body as it fell without any bit of a struggle, and then what, drag him back to his other car or throw him into his own car and take off with him? Really? That was his plan? Get her? Like, what? Seriously? That was so stupid. There's no way. There's so many decisions this guy made that would make it impossible for him to not be able to get caught. This movie also reminds me how unbelievably easy it would be to screw someone's life up if you got a hold of their social media accounts and the contents of their computer. Go on Facebook and just write the most horrendous shit to people, especially your girlfriend, like, we're done, bitch, bye, and then send a group chat message to everyone. How it went to every single person in her class, why that guy would have the context of everyone in her class, I don't know. It doesn't matter, but he sends this huge mass text out. Maybe he just sent it to a couple people, and then those people all sent it. They're all assholes. Who the fuck sees that stuff and then points around and is like, and laughs her out? People are pieces of shit. Anyways, sends out this picture of her that's, she does not want seen during her presentation that's worth 1/3 of her grade. So it couldn't happen at a worse time. Then he beats the shit out of her and leaves her for dead. Then he gets his parents fired from work. This guy is going for everyone he loves in all these different ways. He doesn't just kill them, he ruins them, which ruins, like, he's hurting all the people he loves. It's great. I love all this stuff. It's so mean-spirited. His dad in this movie, the main guy's dad in this movie, which is like his stepdad, but he has the same last name as him. I don't know. Must have married her young or whatever. His name is Don Falco. Okay, Don Falco. We got a Batman fan in the house. Don Falcone. Just took an N off of Falcone and made it Don Falco. I thought that was pretty funny when he said it. I was like, Don Falco, really? Come on. You know, wear your Batman love on your sleeve. Nothing wrong with that. Tells him to go away. What the fuck does that mean? Sometimes I write notes, and I've said this a million times. Like, I'm like, wait, what the hell does that even mean? Shit. I don't know what that means. So, yeah, if only Derek really knew how to fight. Poor Derek, the dumb friend. He comes into his house, and, you know, he comes out of the closet, and Derek gets a couple punches in on him. He had him right there and then. If he knew how to fight at all, he could have taken that guy down. That's just it. That's what I always talk about in these movies. They're lucky they don't run into anyone who knows any fucking thing about martial arts or know how to defend themselves at all, because you would be dead in 2 seconds flat. That guy clearly had no idea how to fight. Not the killer as well. Had no idea what he was doing. And he went in there, took this guy with a baseball bat. But man, you go up against somebody, whoo, be close. And then I love that he tells the friend, like, look at this place, look at the squalor you live in. I can't handle this shit. Like, you're beyond correction. Like, that's his thing. He wants to correct people. He's there to break them. He's there to show them something. He's there to learn something, whatever. And he takes the friend and he's just like looking around. He's like, no, you're beyond correction. And he just, like, cold-blooded shoots him right in the fucking head. Oh man, that was great. So as I said, there's a lot of good stuff. But then he picks up the phone and he screenshots him right there, which is great. He gets a clear shot of the guy on that guy's phone in that moment when the guy was dead on the ground. Boom, you're screwed. He's got evidence. He should have just taken that. He did. He tries. He tries so many times. He goes right to his friend's house and he shows the cop, like, look, I took a picture of the guy. And he's like, all right, we'll get your statement. Like, no one is helping him throughout this movie. And I don't blame him for being like, you know what? I don't got time for this shit, because fictional cops don't care. Now, here's another part that's absurdly stupid. He blows up his house, really? That is so overly dramatic movie bullshit. He rigs like dynamite in his fucking oven. Come on. That's ridiculous. That's silly. That should not have happened. I do love that this guy has a pre-dug hole that he has a cover over right outside the house with bags of lye laying right next to it. I thought that was great because the ground is frozen. There's no way, like, you have to dig it once upon a time, cover it up. But what's stupid about that on the flip side is that there's bodies down there, like on the side of the walls, which the cops would have 100% for sure found. So he's trying to blame the murders on this kid, but then they would have also found his family dead in there, or whoever the hell that was, other girls that he killed. Maybe it wasn't his family. I guess that would make sense. The other girls that he killed, I suppose. But what, he's going to pin them for all the murders there? Like, no. It's murders from other cases. No, they're leading to him. No. The other bodies being in there and how they were just so happened to be right next to the hole that he dug and all that. I don't know. That all was so super silly to me. But I do love that he had a pre-dug hole. So I can take the good and ignore the bad for that moment. I don't really care. And then the killer here beats the main kid here with a shovel like 10 times in a row. That kid's dead, okay? He's dead. I don't give a shit what this movie says. The amount of times he hit him, and as hard as he hit him with that shovel, that kid would have died. He would have never woken up. He would have went into a coma, something. He would have died. Another line that I love in this is when the killer is going to kill the chick, the chick that he has hostage, and this main kid's like, "Take me, let her go," and he's like, "Take me." He's like, "This isn't." What does he say? He says like, "This isn't either or. I'm killing her, and then I'm killing you. Like, I just want you to watch, and then I'm gonna watch you die." That was awesome, because there's so many movies where it's like, just let her go and you can have me, and it's like, we're not in a situation where you can barter here. You have nothing. You're my prisoner, and so is she. I'm gonna kill her, and don't worry, I'm getting to you. You're gonna die as well. So, love that dialogue. That's awesome stuff. And he also tells him, like, watch her, I'm gonna kneecap her, and I'll skin you in 30 seconds or less. I shit you not. You're like, fucking keep your eyes open, motherfucker. Another thing that's ridiculous here is he shoots her and she falls down in lye, bleeding. So there'd be an activator there of the wetness on the lye. I've seen Fight Club. And she doesn't scream out. She has a shock collar on her neck. I think it's still there. If she screams, she's going to get shocked or whatever. That shit would be burning her face off. She even says when she comes back, she's like, "I'm the one covered in lye." But she does come back. And probably the best line in this whole movie, "That's how you save somebody." That was great. I love that she like screams that in his face, like, "You piece of shit." And she ends up saving him. I mean, he helps a little bit because he wouldn't have been distracted and all this and that, but I thought that was great. She just comes back and is like, but then stupid on the side, like every one of them is just like, here's this and here's that. Here's a good, here's a negative. She yells that and it's an amazing scene, right? But then they just let him lay on the ground, and then later they get the best of him again and he beats the shit out of him, and she's just like, "No, it's not enough." And it's like, but 1 minute ago you had him on the ground and you had the shovel and you could have just went down there and cut his fucking head off. but you just threw it away and then let him get up and chased him off. Like, that's so dumb. So awesome, not so awesome together in a scene. And it happens so many times. Oh, super annoying. Anyway. And then, yeah, the cops find him, and he's tied to the chair like she is in the beginning of the movie, and then credits. So you think he's going to come back and kill them or whatever, and it doesn't happen. And the cops show up at the last second. It's like completely pointless. Like, they don't need to be in this movie at all. Like, those cops didn't need to come there. They didn't do anything. They just found his body in there. It's kind of like a fuck you. You didn't listen to me. I captured the killer. I think that's really what it comes down to. Is that's the ending of this movie. That's what it's like kind of saying and implying. But they don't really serve any purpose except for to be there as an I told you so, you fucking idiots. You should have listened to me. I did your work for you. And he's wrapped up in there with a fucking bow on his head. So next time, listen to me when I come in. But they probably still would have grabbed him and been like, all right, so you did rob this place, so we're going to take you and put you in jail. So, anyways, so yeah, there's my goods and my bads. What'd you guys think if you saw it? Obviously, if you're watching now, you probably saw it. Other than that, I got to go. Good night, guys.